Hello, everyone. I am the Black Jade Falcon, and I've been doing some thinking. Now, recently, I was doing some cleaning in my house and getting ready for the change of seasons. It's a good idea just to kind of clean out a bunch of gunk that you pick up. Loose letters that don't mean anything, and old boxes from Amazon, and, just the dust that accumulates from life because, well, we shed skin. Yes, that's what dust is. It's skin. Get over it. And it's your skin. Get over it. So, I was listening as I cleaned to the Harry Potter books, which is something I actually do enjoy doing. Hell, I'm a millennial. It's kind of one of our anthologies as far as culture goes. And as I was listening to this, I got to thinking, what would it be like to actually live in that wizarding society as a kid? So I thought back to my own past, and I said, well, when I was a kid, things were fun if interesting. I had friends up until a certain point where, issues of locally where I grew up came in. And I was always out having fun, running around in the neighborhood, playing dumb games. And then, when we finally had enough money, we got video games, and just kind of grew from there. So I thought, what if I was a wizard and had received a Hogwarts letter? Well, according to the canon of that universe, children of magical ability tend to gain their magical abilities sometime around 7, 8 to 10 years old. And then they receive their letter, and they pack up and head to Hogwarts, get a wand, get some books, get some robes, and they learn how to use magic for 9 months out of the year. And this happens at the age of 10, like I said. So what's going on before the age of 10? Well, they're in regular school. They are learning how to read. They are learning how to interact with people. They are learning how to do basic math, basic history, basic science, stuff like that, just like everybody else does in school. And then suddenly, long at about the start of fourth grade, they go poof. Nobody sees them again. They go to a boarding school upstate where they learn how to do magic. Now, chances are they've already been either ostracized or they've been practically worshipped and put up on a pedestal for what they can do. They can move objects, they can talk to animals, they can make stuff grow, they can make stuff appear and disappear at will, or at least by accident when they're stressed out or something. So one of two things has happened. They're either thought of as very, very weird or very, very neat. Now, they are not bound by magical law, as in, you can't use magic in front of a muggle, as the term is, or a no-mage if you're in the States. So, they just kind of let it pass because it's basically a fart. But then they go to Hogwarts, and now they are bound to, if you use magic, at lowest, it's a misdemeanor. At worst, it's a felony. It's a crime. And now here's the thing. They had, conceivably, all of these friends back in the normal world, and they only get to see them for about 3 months out of the year. Meanwhile, these kids are progressing through school and learning not only arithmetic now, but higher level math. They're learning algebra. They are learning deeper parts of history. They are learning better how to write and how to craft things and how to basically not only get through school and take tests, but also how to survive in the real world, how to hold down a job, etc. And meanwhile, their friend, me for instance, who went to the magical school, is stuck at a third grade education level. This person, from their perspective, is stupid. which is going to ostracize them. And now they're talking about all of this, and now they're really, really secretive. Dude, what's this school like? Oh, it's just a school. Care to tell me more? No, I can't. They won't let me. What kind of school are you going to, dude? Okay, that would probably be the something along the lines of the conversation. Okay? Now, here's something interesting. What if that wizarding student, boy or girl, comes from a Muggle family? They are born to non-magical parents. What would that be like? Near as I can tell, you are not permitted any sort of you're not permitted to have any contact with anybody outside of the school unless they are capable of using magic and using magical lines of communication, such as howlers and owls and what have you. So there's no telephone, there's no email, and apparently there's no regular post/mail, so how do kids of non-magical parents talk to their non-magical parents at any point during the school year? Because I can guarantee you they are going to have a day or month that just sucks. Their potions blew up in their face, singed off their eyebrows. They got pooped on by owls up at the keep, and, well, the other kid that is wearing the emerald green robes called him something mean, and, well, they just want to talk to somebody. Okay? Well, there's nobody really to talk to that's your own, that would be able to sympathize or even empathize, especially if it's mommy and daddy, because, well, in my own past, what really got me through those hard times at school, when the little racist kid decided to call me a dirty name or something, I talked to my parents about it, and, they hugged me close and said, it's okay, you're not what he said, don't you worry about it, and I was able to get through it. Near as I can tell, that doesn't exist at Hogwarts or the other magical schools. So you leave mom and dad sometime late August, early September, and go to school at this boarding school. And you don't get to talk to them until Christmas, when you go back. Okay? And you are a different person. They are different people because you have had experiences that are not shared, which is going to change your personality. It's going to change your outlook on life. Yes, your personality does change and evolve. That's called being human. And you can't talk about what you went through. So mom and dad ask, so how was school? I can't talk about it. What kind of school are you going to? Increasingly, as this goes on, you are going to become more and more of an alien. That is not, little green men with antennas and white hair and whatnot, but they're going to look at you as, I don't know who this person is. Yeah, we share DNA, but that's about as good as it goes. I don't know who they are anymore. I can't actually trust them. And they can't tell me anything because that would breach their code. I don't know what to do. So I can imagine the amount of stress that is going to place on a family. Mom, dad, and non-magical siblings with one or two kids that are capable of using magic, and those kids become more and more alien. I can only imagine what it's going to be like when that kid enters puberty and begins to really explore what it means to be them. Every single person rebels in every single culture. Now, the type of rebellion varies from person to person. But here's the thing. It's always a rebellion. There's always going to be a fight. There's always going to be, well, I'm not going to do that because I think that's stupid, even though they know in their heart it's a good idea. You should have seen the fights my parents and I got into about stupid stuff that I don't even remember now when I was a kid. There were times where I just left for hours to go cool off. And I came back and they're like, "You ready to apologize?" "Yeah, I'm ready to apologize." "Fine." Okay? You compound that with a completely alien culture and abilities. This person can conjure fire on their fingertip. They can move a glass of water to their hand without touching it. That's going to be an issue. And they can't do it until they turn 16 and get what is essentially their driver's license to use magic outside of the house. But here's the thing, they're not allowed to use magic in front of their non-magical parents, making them even more alien. So that's going to severely damage families. Guaranteed. And the only way to really find any sort of social interaction is to interact exclusively with people capable of using magic, because they're the only ones that are going to understand. Look at Hermione's life at about halfway through book 7, where she used the Obliviate spell not only on her parents' minds, but on any visual or auditory or video record of her existence. She ceased to exist. She, in the book, is doing that to protect her parents, but at the same time, they weren't really that close. A lot of people will say, "Well, she's just English. And English people don't really have emotions the way we Americans do." No, they do, dude. I promise you. I have friends that are British, that are English, that are Scottish, and that are Irish, that are under the crown. And they have the exact same emotions as everybody else. They may not necessarily acknowledge them the way we do, but, there is alienation. There is the point of, I don't fit in here. Why should I be here? Okay? Because that's human nature. It has nothing to do with your race. It has nothing to do with your culture. It has nothing to do with your religion. It's instinct. And you can't pave over that with anything. It's part of who and what you are as a human being. So, getting back to it, I would say that going to a place like Hogwarts would, yes, be a fantastic experience, but it would also be a horrific turning point in your life, because you go from being a person to being an alien to the people around you. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a teenager, I didn't really think that I fit in anywhere, even with my friends. Because, we had different families, we had different cultures, we even had different races, and there's a point where, with a lot of people, especially here in the States, you stay with your own kind. And if you don't feel accepted by that kind, you're an alien there too. So let's say that you are Muggle-born, as the term is, and all of your friends at school are quote-unquote pureblood, or at least half-bloods. In that, yes, their parents can use magic. So, they can go to mommy and daddy with a problem. You can't. At best, you'll be treated like an abnormality. At worst, you'll be ostracized. That's going to cause some psychological issues, I guarantee it, especially as a teenager. Okay. Well, that is just me doing a little bit of thinking. I'm probably going to be following this up with a few more videos about the wizarding world because, I've been doing some thinking. I'll be back later. I think I'll talk next about the biology of what it would mean to be a wizard. But until then, guys, it's been a pleasure.